Hi everyone, hope you are all doing great and taking good care of yourselves. It feels wonderful to be amongst all of you, albeit virtually, to share my views on communications and our industry generally. A lot has changed due to the pandemic. Businesses had to rethink strategies and people had to modify their behaviors. I really don't want to get into the details of that, but I do personally feel that every crisis is an opportunity to really reinvent ourselves, create new avenues for success, and emerge much, much stronger. As businesses, we don't get to choose market conditions, competition, and most certainly not pandemics of this sort. However, what's in our hands is the boldness and the will to face all of these. As you know, Godrej was formed during a crisis in 1897 as part of our freedom and Swadeshi movements. Our country then was fighting the bubonic plague. Our very first soap was launched during the Spanish flu pandemic during 1918. So, as I see it, it could be our second beginning for the next 123 years. Our focus is hence to do whatever it takes and emerge stronger. The COVID pandemic has pushed all of us to take a pause. However, we must see it as an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and assess what really matters. What is our purpose? It has given us an opportunity to figure out what works and what does not. It's the best time to do away with processes and activities that are resource drainers. Of course, there are things that cannot change and need be further enhanced. For example, listening to consumers. As brands grow in repute and size, there's a tendency to start getting unidirectional in our communications. We stop listening to our consumers or how they perceive our brands, and we start focusing on quantity instead of quality. Corporate behavior is being watched more closely now than ever before. Not only what CEOs say, but also what employee views on social media about the organization and other issues are also very critical. Also at Godrej, we touch about 750 million consumers in India and 1.15 billion across the world. So, social listening for us has never been more important. The biggest challenge in current times has been uncertainty. In situations like these, emotions run really high and brands often get caught up in the currents and countercurrents. It becomes a game of perspective and belief. Often, something which is deemed purpose-driven by an organization could also be construed as opportunistic behavior by your TG. A case in point was our free distribution of sanitizers that was called out by certain people who felt it to be opportunistic. Here is where authenticity and belief in your own work come to one's aid. The truth of the matter is, if empathy, authenticity, and purpose are at the core of your communication, you will not go wrong. Some stories, however, must be told, notwithstanding the risk of being called opportunist. Take, for instance, the Protect India movement campaign. In March 2020, the country went into a tailspin, forcing all of us to take measures to protect our loved ones from the pandemic. Be it indoors or outdoors, personal hygiene became an absolute priority, and the definition of hygiene changed for everyone. We launched the Protect India movement, a 360-degree campaign under our brand Protect to promote hygiene and inculcate the right hygiene practices. We use traditional and digital channels to inform, educate, and nudge citizens to make hand hygiene a habit. As a commitment, we worked with government bodies, municipal corporations, public service aggregators like the Indian Railways, and local communities, donated products, and created awareness, all of which further helped to drive this behavioral change. We saw the true manifestation of agility within the organization when GCPL launched a slew of products in the hygiene and wellness spaces. The PR done during the Protect India movement has certainly helped get us more traction for the new products we launched. Research has shown that consumers today do not trust unidirectional communications. Owing to the exposure to fake news and branded content, there's a cognitive ad blocker that switches on every time a consumer today sees content that looks like an advertisement. Therefore, stories you share with audiences must be authentic, fact and data driven, and more inclusive. One way to do this is by using research-driven narratives to tell your stories. The truth is that in the times of shrinking editorial spaces and rising fake news, media has skewed its trust towards data-driven stories. This is where research-driven narratives have made an ethical breakthrough. At Godrej, we launched an independent vertical for research-driven narratives. It really fueled a long-term funnel of insight-rich content, which is also closely associated with the brand's key objectives. In the last year, we did several successful data-driven campaigns which have been appreciated by Indian and global communication platforms, including the Fulcrum Awards. As part of our communication strategy, we sharpened our approach to digital PR and influencer engagement. Customer experience and brand ethos form the absolute core of our own media platform strategy. Being heard is one of the most precious aspects that audiences seek today from brands. Our 3 owned media channels, Godrej Lafayette, Vikhroli Cucina, and Design Deco, have become quite successful in co-creating content with influencers, key opinion leaders, and customers on a myriad of themes. We believe one should make audiences the protagonist and not limit the engagement to transactional purposes. The audience must feel engaged to be part of the story. There's enough pessimism in the environment. Using our 3 owned media properties, we were focusing on sharing positive stories. Whether it's engaging our followers with entertaining, light-hearted music, or chats through Lafayette, introducing a line of interesting quick recipes for people to test their inner chef capabilities, or helping people set up a positive environment at home through design makeover tips from interior designers. In the first half of the year, these 3 platforms organically touched over 75 million social media accounts. They generated close to 150 million impressions by partnering with over 50 external brands and over 1,900 influencers across food, beauty, travel, fitness, lifestyle, fashion, health, and well-being, as well as design and architecture genres. We also hosted 6 webinars, 2 conclaves, and nearly 50 Insta Live interactions in the past few months to engage our audiences. I feel it is the time for all of us professionals to upskill now. Being adept with data would be useful. A communication head today is wading through increased volumes of information, data, and noise. Too much clutter. The dependence on data to support decisions will increase, though it can never replace the years of experience and expertise with which a communication professional comes equipped. Going forward, corporate scrutiny, in my opinion, will further increase, and the vulnerability of coming in a crossfire between media, political parties, and trolls is high. This is a great opportunity for the PR industry to make a mark and gain strengthened voice as corporate reputation becomes even more vulnerable. Communication professionals, more than ever before, need to bring out their thought leadership and acumen in this space. An indicator of this is the chaos across the world. While governments are making good strides in controlling the pandemic, I feel that the effectiveness could be higher if the planners had more psychologists, social scientists, and most importantly, communicators on board. It would certainly help avoid a lot of chaos and confusion due to miscommunication and conflicting narratives. On the people front, this period also tested the employee-employer trust barometer. We have all already started valuing family time, health, and other intangible parts of life more. The Microsoft Work Index report, in fact, highlighted that close to 1/3 of Indian employees face burnout during this challenging period. The report also highlighted a key reason for mental stress among employees was the fear of losing jobs or getting a pay cut. Therefore, it's absolutely incumbent upon organizations to bring policies which are focused on mental and physical well-being. Drawing strict boundaries that promote work-life balance is an absolute necessity, and it requires a really concerted effort from the industry thought leaders to walk this talk. At Godrej, we not only implemented policies that absolutely prohibited meetings pre or post working hours, but also urged managers to hold at least one meeting every week to discuss the well-being of colleagues. We set up processes to discuss support required for enhancing employee productivity and performance. In the same breath, To avoid exhaustion due to excessive meetings, we rolled out training for employees to focus on closure and minimize meetings. Similarly, we organized several sessions for our teams with industry experts to bring in a third perspective on key matters. Another topic that's relevant and close to my heart is diversity and inclusion. The way I look at it, inclusion is a way of life and diversity is only a measure of how inclusive we are. If we are inclusive as an organization, if our practices do not allow unconscious biases or latent stereotypes to govern our business decisions and processes, then this will help us be a more diverse organization. Diversity for me has many facets that interconnect in multiple ways. They could include language, culture, ethnicity, religion, gender, mental and physical abilities, even sexual orientation. Inclusion for me is setting up an environment where people are accepted and welcomed in an authentic manner for whom they are. At its core, inclusion is about allowing individuals with diverse facets to feel valued, welcomed, and empowered. This could be within a family, a workplace, or a country. At Godrej, we have always believed in serving our communities, embracing people irrespective of gender, sexuality, religion, and nationality. It's an absolute part of who we are as an organization. A tremendous number of research studies have shown the correlation between outcomes such as innovation, customer centricity, profitability, and diversity of the leadership in these organizations. The World Economic Forum, in a recent article, made pertinent points. They said, and I quote, "A strong positive correlation exists between LGBT+ inclusion and economic resilience." They also wrote, "Economies that are more inclusive are better placed to recover from the shocks of COVID-19 pandemic." Not too long ago, Deloitte researched how being inclusive impacts the business performance of the organization. The research found that inclusive organizations are 2x as likely to meet or exceed financial targets, 3x as likely to be high performing, 6x as likely to be more innovative and agile, and 8x more likely to achieve better business outcomes. At Godrej, 60% of our consumers are women. It makes absolute business sense to have a workforce that mirrors this consumer base so that I can serve my consumers in the best possible manner. On this note, I would like to thank Team Spectra and Amit for inviting me to share my views. Please feel free to visit us at Godrej One. Sujit and I would be happy to host you, share things that we do well, and learn from you on what we could do better. I wish each one of you the very best in all your endeavors, and I hope you have a fabulous 2021. I'm sure we shall all emerge much stronger. Thank you.